So Twig, there was a bit on the line against a pretty good Crows team. Firstly, what did you make of the performance?
Oh, it was a great win. I was really pleased with how the players went about their business. We lost some momentum in the third quarter, but the growth in the group has shown that they can arrest that momentum and get it back on terms. Crows had 16 listed players, and a lot of them have played a lot of senior footy this year. So in the end, it was a bit unknown going into the game of how strong they'd be, but we've got a bit of a theory. We play the AFL teams, for the more the better. We want to really be pushed and be tested against the best players. So I was really pleased with how we were able to limit a lot of their players' influence and go about our game over 4 quarters.
Where do you think we got on top in the first half? I thought our pressure around the ball was excellent, and we made the most of our opportunities. How do you see it?
Yeah, exactly the way you described it. I thought our contest play was really strong. I think that we've started to show a high level of competitiveness offensively, that we're starting to really use the ball, share the ball amongst ourselves and be a bit cleaner and look dangerous going forward, which is pretty important at this time of the year. And thought that across the ground our back line was really strong, and the ball stayed in our forward line for most of the second quarter. So that's what we plan to do. We were able to deliver on it, and just a bit agitated with the third quarter that I thought we self-inflicted a lot of the pressure with how we invited Adelaide back into the game, but some of their players got a bit excited, and all of a sudden the game was back into a tense battle, which once again, in a weird way, as much as you don't like going through it, it's a really good prep for what we're coming into the next few weeks.
That was exactly my next question. Just that Adelaide fight back in that third term. It's always hard, like you say, it's always hard to hold teams down for the full quarters, but just the way the boys were able to settle back in the last quarter and rest the momentum back. I mean, they kicked an early goal through Mackesy in the first of the last quarter. Just the way that the boys were able to compose themselves and get back, back the momentum was really pleasing.
Yeah, there's no fancy strategy that comes out under pressure like that. It's been able to repeat the basics and stand up under pressure, and it's probably been an area of improvement that was required improvement through the year when the whips are really cracking. Are we standing up, or are we allowing the other opposition to get what they want? So I thought the third quarter didn't look the way we want it to look. They jagged a couple of goals from the boundary line through Wright and Newchurch, which was good luck to them. But yeah, once Maxie kicked that goal last quarter, they were genuinely excited, the Crows, and had a bit of belief. But I think we found a couple of centre bounces. We found a 25-minute penalty was pretty handy against Worrell for Shenton to kick a set shot. I think we kicked the next one straight after. So the other things you look for is a response and be able to stand up to the pressure rather than wilt.
Cole Gerloff coming back into the team this week. He took a fantastic mark. Firstly, how do you see it from the sideline? Was it a pretty good view?
It's probably the second best one I've seen this year. I thought Piopolo against South Adelaide was good. I thought Piopolo Port Adelaide's the best one I've seen this year. But from the vantage point we had, I believe Cole's a good aerial player. Probably hasn't quite come out on game day as much as I thought it would this year, but he took a couple of nice grabs, and that one was a really important time in the third quarter. And well done to him, because we weren't going to pick him last week, not because of anything other than he had a shoulder. And we had Pedro not available on Thursday night, and Cole trained himself into the team. And lo and behold, his training form rolled into a really high-level SANFL match. So get in at the right time of the season, you might just be able to stay in at the right time.
Moving on to obviously this week, finals footy. Throw a few names at you. Brad McKenzie and Nick Pedro missed last week's game. Firstly, how are they tracking, as well as Paul Piopolo and Manning up? Yeah,
a bit to find out with McKenzie and Pedro. They both weren't at the level Thursday night to be considered. We've had a pretty strong stance this year about picking fit teams, and so they went out and we brought Cotter in. It was a really good win for us, and wrapped with how he performed, and obviously Cole came in and did a good job, so that shows our depth. So I've got to find out more about them for the early part of the week. Nunn will play this week. He had an excellent last 2 weeks of his rehab. I think he's done a good job all the way through, but his last two, he's got some good condition into him, and he's running fast, and he's doing all things required of him to be ready to play. The other one, Piopolo, I had a good chat with him this morning. They're still with a medial. They were quite a traumatic injury, especially the way it happened against Glenelg. So he's recovered, he's running fast, but changed direction and doing all the training drills that we do that are pretty combative will be in his next test. So he'd be a test this week, I would have thought. And then we've got Talia and Sable and Brodie Carroll and Don Barry all still to consider and work out where they're at with their own conditioning and rehab as well.
Yeah, it's a good time of the year to get those guys back. And just lastly, obviously Norwood's first finals appearance since 2019. As a new coming coach, obviously the fans are wrapped and everyone's really excited. No doubt there's some excited boys now with a double chance. Talk us through the week and how you will go into the game against the Eagles.
Yeah, it's a new season. This is qualifying round's over. I thought all the things we've been through as a group is what shapes you to be where you're at the moment. So there's a natural level of excitement, and days are longer, the weather's a bit warmer. You get the feel in September of what it's all about. So we've earned that right, and now a double chance. I just wanted to say that what I did love on the weekend was the type of day we had as a club. I thought the Fortis in Bracella Army March was one of the best things I've been involved with footy, and was able to get a good look at it when the crew walked down Wood Street. I really enjoyed seeing that, and some of the comments from our players to talk about what it felt like to run through the Guard of Honour of our people, well, it gives you a buzz as a coach, because we try and create opportunities and experiences for them, and they're the lucky ones at the moment get to represent our club on game day. But what our supporters and our club gave to our players was enormous, and to see the amount of people back in the room, function room after the game for the after match, just gave us a feel that the club's excited, and that's what we're all involved for, is to be involved this time of the year and see as much red and blue as we can floating around Adelaide Oval over the next couple of weeks and see where it takes us, because we've had a mantra about trying to improve our footy, and the team that grows the most will be the team that holds up the cup at the end of the year, and with it we're growing.
Thanks for your time, Twig, and all the best this week.
Thanks, Joe.